And now it is time for the grand conclusion of the 2022 Halloween Marathon. And what better way to end this off than the 1993 disaster, the very first Hollywood video game movie, the Super Mario Brothers movies.
Excuse me, you mean Super Mario Brothers. The Super Mario Brothers movie is the name of the new Illumination movie.
I'm scared.
Oh boy, God.
Anyway, this movie about two Italian plumbers stars British actor Bob Hoskins, the late Bob Hoskins, as Mario, and Hispanic actor
John Leguizamo.
Okay. One thing to keep in mind is that at this time with the brand, they were more so Italian-American because they came from Brooklyn at the time, so to be fair, this works out relatively fine. And it seems like they're going to go with that in the new animated movie as well, or something akin to that.
It was directed by British directors, so we get a lot of British talent for the very first Hollywood video game movie.
Not only anyone's.
Then married couple Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, who were more famous here in the UK for the Max Headroom TV movie.
And boy, does that influence show in this movie. But believe it or not, these are actually the latest in a long line of directors and writers that were brought on to try and helm this. Like, hey, believe it or not, at some point, we could have had a script by Harold Flipping Ramis, who was a big Mario Brothers fan at the time.
Wasn't the original also concept that Nintendo pitched something that ideally, because again, right, I'm recording this is still in production, ideally similar to what the new animated movie is supposed to be, more of a fantasy story that it was supposed to be even animated and not really live action.
That wasn't Ramis's cut, but believe it or not, that was the script that, at the time, attracted a lot of the big-name actors here. Bob Hoskins, because of his experience on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, was all up for this fantasy picture. John Leguizamo needed something to up his career, and ironically enough, this movie actually did act as the springboard of his career. And, believe it or not, for the role of King Koopa, at the time, these guys were courting two big-name actors. I'm not kidding here. Michael Keaton and Arnold Schwarzenegger were approached for the role of King Koopa. So
I would have wanted to see Arnold Schwarzenegger as King Koopa.
That would have been awesome. But instead we got another veteran actor, Dennis Hopper, who again was intrigued by the script here and there. But like I mentioned, this script and movie went through a lot of different stars and whatnot. A really missed opportunity is that at some point we could have had a movie that both starred and was directed by Danny DeVito. And yes, in addition to being an actor, Danny DeVito's actually a pretty solid director. But apparently he had
commented on Matilda, which he directed.
He also did Death to Smoochie, which is insanely funny. Holy cow. But unfortunately, conflicts be conflicts, and well, yeah, he wasn't able to do it. Again, and you know what's funny? That's a problem that people have lamented to this day, even with the current animated movie.
Also didn't help this film's box office, which was pretty paltry, was that this film came out not too long before a certain film called Jurassic Park.
We're getting to that here. Here's the main thing, though. So all the actors and team were pretty much on board with the script that was given. Until, again, in Leitmotiv in Hollywood, some pretty small indie companies that, of all people, Nintendo chose to helm this project, were getting desperate to find directors, which came in the married couple. And unfortunately, they had, Leitmotiv essentially gave them free reign of it, which meant that they were able to tear up the original vision and warp it into their own, to the point where apparently the team literally walked in on a set that was kind of the opposite of what they were expecting. It's a lot like Cool World, where the script literally got changed on the first day. Mind you, I don't think anyone got their lights punched out, like with Cool World, but still, yikes, what a mess. And the end result? Well, John Leguizamo looks back on it positively because, again, this movie actually was a good springboard for his career. As for the two directors, yeah, ultimately they've apparently been blacklisted. And apparently divorced, too, from the stress of it all. Now, why they got blacklisted, I'm gonna say for during the movie commentary, because there's a lot involving this mess of a movie. However, I think what we should give highlight to are two particular quotes. One from Dennis Hopper, and one from Bob Hoskins. Sadly, both deceased now, but they've had interesting things here. Allow me to start with the Dennis Hopper quote. Which he actually said on the Late Night with Conan O'Brien show in 2008. And I quote, "I made a movie called Super Mario Brothers, and my 6-year-old son at the time, he's now 18, he said, 'Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible guy King Koopa in Super Mario Brothers?' And I said, 'Well, Henry, I did that so you could have shoes.' And he said, 'Dad, I don't need shoes that badly.'" End quote.
Damn.
Yeah.
Getting roasted by your 6-year-old.
But that has nothing on what Bob Hoskins said, which
Take it away,
Joe Burrows delegated to me, since I'm British and don't mind swearing so much. "It was the worst thing I ever did, Super Mario Brothers. It was a nightmare. It had a husband and wife directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. After so many weeks, their own agent told them to get off the set. There, fucking idiots. The whole experience was a nightmare."
He's actually not kidding. By the time that filming wrapped, the two directors got kicked out of the editing booth because everyone was just done with them.
Yeah, they
at
had
that
to.
point.
They had to basically go to the Directors Guild to get them in the room.
Again, when I discuss what they did during our actual movie commentary, you'll probably get a good idea why they eventually ended up getting blacklisted. But again, apparently this movie also kind of ended their marriage too, since the end result...
I didn't enter like long after this, but yeah.
I'd say it was
like-
definitely a good contributing factor.
The start of the ball rolling.
This movie destroyed both their marriage and Dennis Hopper's career.
Well, okay, to be fair, Dennis Hopper's career kind of
He
carried
did
on.
Speed after this.
I mean, and hey, he was in Space Truckers. Okay. But yeah, to be fair, he was in Speed, Waterworld, Apocalypse Now, and his last movie ever, Alpha and Omega.
But yeah, enough depressing facts. Let's get on with the movie, which is also kind of depressing. So since if your copies of the film start with the Pathy logo, skip that, since we're not sure how consistent that is with international copies of the movie, since I'm watching the Amazon Prime version, and start before the Hollywood Pictures logo, the one with the Sphinx.
Let's do this.
Which was a label of Disney at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Disney are responsible for this partly.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Dwayne, you just reminded me. Disney releasing a movie at a very bad time in regards to the competition? That is unheard of.
Where have I heard that before? Winnie the Pooh,
Treasure
Princess
Planet,
and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog.
Yes, Major?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Hey, the Mario Brothers too.
This is the biggest joke in the movie.
Fuck you and your fucking lies. But anyway, listen to this. I'm not okay. I have something to say, but I'll wait till this narration is up, because this opening narration, immediately after the opening narration, you can already tell that this movie is going to suck. Just listen.
From Dan Castellaneta.
It starts in 8 beats.
Wait.
Never mind. We put in Global War for. I'll tell you, we're watching Global War instead, I guess.
Greasy.
Is that Bob Hoskins giving the narration?
No, that's Dan Castellaneta.
Listen.
This is a educational PC game.
Hold on. Okay, so this is Brooklyn back in back in the.
Yes, actually, this is the troll in Central Park was doing homage to this.
Excuse me.
Okay.
To answer that, let's talk about parallel universes.
Okay. To be fair,
That's the most insane video I've ever seen.
Okay.
A hard press is still a press, Dej.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying that, yes, I'm one of those weirdos who actually likes this movie. In fact, to be fair, this movie does continue the trend of our Halloween set, again, minus Monster Family 2, because I refuse to believe that that movie has a cult following. But regardless, our theme of Halloween seems to be overall films with cult followings. And this one actually has a pretty big one, like to the point where there's an entire library of archive about everything having to do with this movie. I'll admit, I'm one of those people who does like this movie. Mind you, that is in spite of its flaws, and let me just say this, I may like this movie, I do not condone what the directors did to the team on this movie. Like, look, as much as I may have wanted a sequel, it would not be worth giving those hacks another go.
Even then, and they dragged poor Alan Silvestri into this. Great.
And you know, I also preface
Silvestri did the score.
Hey, I also preface this by saying I like the music in this one.
Oh, sure, the music is the best thing about this.
Although I will say I don't think the music fits what goes on screen half the time.
So okay.
Hey, we're going into a sewer, just like the Mario Brothers. And we've got Christianity, just like the Mario Brothers Castlevania.
And yeah, you can already tell what the primary problem with this movie is. This movie has nothing to do with Super Mario Brothers.
What are you saying? She's in a sewer, Pedro.
Yes, Shiroi.
I'll say this. The first time I watched this movie, I got to roughly this point and stopped.
Wait, really?
I can see why.
Shiroi, most of us did. Like, can you? Okay, allow me to tell you, because I saw this movie back in the day on VHS, back when it just came out.
Damn.
Well, Deji, I had
from
to
Blockbuster.
Deji, you have to understand that back in then there was no internet for me to.
Oh yeah,
it's the government.
Worse.
But I was gonna say, hey, at least you didn't see it in theaters, because I have a friend who did that.
Shiro, did you notice that guy there? That's supposed to be Bowser.
Well,
I have.
Well, it's called
I have
King
seen this
Koopa
movie
in.
I did see this movie in full eventually.
Pedro, I should explain something. He's actually not Bowser. I have a very fun fact about that.
Whatever, the equivalent of what Bowser was called back then.
No, Two. It's not just the fact that he was called King Koopa back then. Believe it or not, Bowser actually is technically in this movie, but it's not the way you think.
Yes, you just saw a child being born from an egg.
That being said, allow me to explain that confusion there. Okay. For those who don't, not a lot of people talk about this because unlike Sega, Nintendo has been a lot more consistent in about separating the two names regarding Eggman. Okay. So, Bowser, as in the Bowser from the video games, has always been called King Koopa in Japan. That's the official name that Miyamoto gave him. However, Nintendo of America decided that, again, King Koopa, I guess, wasn't a good enough name for a villain, I guess, so they decided to name him Bowser, and that name has continued up until this day.
To be fair,
even making jokes about how Doug Bowser has the same name.
To be fair, they did, kind of similar to the Sonic thing, come up with a compromise that while Bowser is his first name, Koopa is still his last name.
Yeah, Bowser.
Also, Luigi without a mustache. I know. Say what you want about John Leguizamo, how he enjoys the role and everything, and how he's at least giving a try and everything. But making Luigi without his mustache, this is very criminal.
Mario, okay. But Bob Hoskins looks the part. I will give it that. He definitely looks like a live-action Mario. John Leguizamo, no, he doesn't look like Luigi at all.
It's kind of the equivalent of Chris O'Donnell in the Batman movie. There is an idea of what the character could be, but it's just not reaching there.
So yeah, this bit.
And that's why.
Hold on, guys. Sorry. So, this bit, John Leguizamo's drunk during this. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
Let me just put it... okay, let me put it like this. Due to the assholery of the directors, a lot of actors had to try and find ways to cope. John Leguizamo's way of that was getting hot drunk. In fact, during this scene, he nearly overturns the truck, which caused a door to close on Bob Hoskins' hand, which forced him to wear a cast in some scenes.
Ouch.
Brilliant. Yeah, and this game, because it was made back in the early 90s, still operates on the backstory about them being plumbers from Brooklyn, which, to be fair, not a lot of people talk about it, but technically that backstory is still in effect, as demonstrated by Super Mario Odyssey, where New Donk City is basically just New York City.
Well, I'm actually Yoshi's Island retconned that Mario and Luigi are natives.
Yoshi's Island retcons itself 3 times.
Pretty much. Sorry, Deads, trust me. Yoshi's Island is not the direction you want to go with there. Okay, so
they only made one Yoshi's Island game.
Of course.
Anyway.
Denial isn't always healthy, Deads. Anyway, this is Scapelli, who, okay, apparently was based off of Donkey Kong.
Were they trying to plant the Remember, ideally they wanted to make sequels out of these. Were they trying to plant the seeds?
Well, okay, to be fair, given what happens to him later in the movie, probably.
Yeah. And here's another weird creative decision. Instead of having Princess Toadstool, aka Peach, we have Princess Daisy.
Yeah,
instead.
so they used a better princess. I consider this a win.
Okay.
That's
to be
thing.
fair,
she doesn't look like even then, Dej. She doesn't look like Daisy. She doesn't act like Daisy. So what does it matter?
Their origin story.
Wait, hold on. To be fair, Daisy's personality at the time was not exactly the big spunky tomboy that we knew her to be. To be fair,
she only had one game.
Still, again, here we're trying to say that she hails from the same real Jesus Christ. For kids.
That guy was just checking her out.
It's like in Kinoma's Birth by Sleep, where somehow we managed to let in a scene with Hades, literally undressing Aqua. I don't know how they got behind these.
Anyway,
what's the big difference? It's Hades, the fucking villain of the Hercules franchise.
Go on, Joe.
To be fair, that guy is supposed to be a villainous creep as well, so checks out, and he does get his comeuppance later. But, to be fair, Daisy, she didn't even have her current design at the time, so technically, this is relatively in character for how Daisy was portrayed in Super Mario Bros. Land, which actually does leave me to wonder, was the movie actually the inspiration for Daisy being Luigi's boyfriend in the franchise? Because remember, originally it's Mario that rescued her, but later on she's more affiliated with Luigi.
That's actually a possibility, Joe, because Super Mario Odyssey does have a bit where it actually references this movie.
Does it actually?
Yes, it does.
I'll point it out when we get to it.
It will be very noticeable.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to point it out now, since it's probably going to be a while before we play Odyssey anyway.
I was waiting up for the scene to actually come up before I put it out.
To answer your question, it was NES Golf Open. Because Daisy was Luigi's caddy.
Okay. Yeah. And also, you know what, to be fair, they do still give Mario a proper girlfriend in this one. In fact, I dare say they gave him the girlfriend that's better than Peach.
Let it go.
I'm not entirely sure about that.
No. It's because of who she's based off of from the video games.
I guess.
Bob Hoskins was a fine actor, but I don't really. I'm not really a huge fan of the voice he puts on for Mario.
You don't like the stereotypical Brooklyn voice? That everyone thinks that's how people from Brooklyn sound like?
I think it's a bit over the top.
What? You don't say.
Remind me again, in terms of year, when did the Dick cartoon started being
1989.
Aired? Yeah. So they had reference with Captain Lou Albano, which was over the top on its own. So
honestly, I'm fine with Bob Hoskins' performance, voice and all.
It's here we go. We start the romance between these two. The thing is about that, Jove, is that a lot of us kids back in the day, we just watched this movie, and even as kids, we hated it because nobody this movie's so unlike the game, and completely doesn't have anything that.
I absolutely
the game.
Trust me, I absolutely get it. In fact, I kind of only ended up watching this in 2010, I believe. This was back in the this was back in the day when you could actually get movies in those segmented parts on YouTube here and there. That's how I first watched this.
Which is funny. The other criticism that Pedro just mentioned, that people that this movie bears very little resemblance to the games.
Yes.
Miyamoto thought this movie was too faithful.
He was lying.
The thing about Miyamoto, Dwebs, is that you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt because the guy sometimes has really stupid shit.
He claimed to be the mother of Bowser Jr.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Okay. So I'm wondering if he was under pressure from the higher-ups of Nintendo to speak, to talk this movie
PR
up.
damage control
Because at the time they were definitely trying to
even
make
at best,
the most.
even with this, despite the bit of referencing that we mentioned, and it's gonna be apparent in regards to Odyssey, Nintendo has done their damn best to try to pretend this movie didn't exist for a very long while, and to not make movies based on their properties until the Detective Pikachu movie,
which is kind of ironic.
They've established Nintendo Pictures, so they are going to make more movies.
Anyway, it is kind of, well, again, I'm assuming they'll make more movies, assuming that the Illumination Mario movie does well enough.
This is because, again, like Deji said, the Illumination CEO director managed to somehow sneak into the chair of board directors of Nintendo.
Well, okay. To be fair, this is because Nintendo actually has been lately softening up on the whole, we must never mention this movie ago, which, honestly, I think is probably for the best. There are fans of this movie who acknowledge its flaws, so it's nice that they can still get a bone phone. Yeah, and yes, here is Mario's girlfriend, Daniela. However, Word of God says that her middle name is Pauline.
Yep.
So I'll give him credit. They went with the better girlfriend for Mario.
Even her dress is pink, which, if I recall correctly, is more similar to how Pauline looked in the original Donkey Kong.
I just wish they would just call her Pauline.
Remember, Pedro, this was still the time where, mentioning the stuff from the source material was something that was shameful, so we had to keep it to a minimum.
Okay, to be fair to you, it wasn't so much a trend as much as it was the mindset of the two directors. Okay, you know how with Godzilla 1998, Roland Emmerich and whoever he was making that movie with were... Yeah, they were very pretentious about how they were truly going to bring about the right vision of Godzilla. Yeah, imagine that, but with this married couple regarding Mario. Now, granted, believe it or not, at some point, the Mario movie was going to be written by the same writer of Rain Man. In fact, no, I'm not kidding, actually.
No, I don't mean you. I mean,
the way Luigi sees, his brotherly relationship with Mario. Again, it's so bizarre the way they treat it in terms of comedy, in regards to how Mario and Luigi are brothers in this.
That's actually good timing here. This might be a leftover from the Drain Man script. What is that? Okay, basically, like I mentioned, at some point the writer of Rain Man was brought on for this picture, and it was essentially Rain Man, but with Mario Brothers. It was going to be about Mario and Luigi really deepening their connection. Everyone involved pretty much hated that, and Nintendo jokingly referred to it as Drain Man because,
And by the way, everybody out there listening to the movie, you might, in today's day and age, when you hear John Leguizamo as Luigi, you probably think that the voice is familiar. That's because he's a Colombian-American actor, and nowadays he's mostly known for playing Bruno in Disney's Encanto.
And yet, again... Apparently, it's thanks to this movie that he got a career, so I can definitely thank this movie for that.
It was also the voice of Murphy in Rayman 3, which apparently everyone loved, but I really could not stand.
See you in Rayman 4!
Fuck off.
Line. I want to, in case I start saying strange, weird things. No, that's not you.
You already been doing that for a while, Luigi.
That's not you, Luigi. That's just the bad script.
So, Judge, Rayman 4, is that coming after Ape Escape 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
And yeah, okay. Let's take aside the whole source material aspect out of it. The thing is, when you actually just watch it as a movie, the movie is just not well made. First of all, these two have all the chemistry of, your typical young soap opera couple that you see.
Yeah.
Like,
Not just these two. I argue that sure it will be deepened a bit later as the movie progresses, and ultimately for the climax. But I have to argue, Bob Hoskins and Jose Leguizamo have no real major chemistry. And, you know, I'm not really convinced those two are supposed to be brothers, not separated by much in terms of age. When John Leguizamo says the line about Mario being his whole family, even a father, I can't believe he looks more like a father than anything.
Hey, she said the line.
Pauline just got kidnapped, so does that mean that those two are Donkey Kong?
Actually, those two are supposed to be Iggy and Spike.
And trust me, the character design discrepancies between this and the
only starting.
Blatant green screen in the background.
Okay. If I may,
this is a big problem. Go on.
Right. If I may, like, I do like this movie, but it is definitely in spite of its flaws. I personally do think the chemistry between Luigi and Daisy actually does work. However, that is one of the few things that actually properly does work. Like, now, okay, maybe if we are taking this as its own franchise here, I could maybe be more fine with it. But I also absolutely get why it did fail in that regard here and there, which is kind of a shame. It did have some interesting ideas here. See, here's the thing. Ironically, this could have maybe have worked in a day and age where, you know, more veerings off from franchises and spin-offs were, you know, more prominent here and there.
Looking at dinosaur fossils turns me on.
Yes, of course.
Why is wrong with you two?
Look,
and Daisy runs away because Luigi is a creep.
TL, let's be real. We can't kink shame, okay?
And to be fair,
I'm more confused than you know, potentially offended by this.
Oh, that's another weird thing in this movie. The Scapelli.
You know, now that I think about it, Jova and Shiroi, this is another consistent thing we've had this Halloween run. Characters being creeps. Like,
interesting.
It's also I have to notice. Okay, I don't know if it was from his own intention or by, you know, for example, we had a consultant of some kind. But I can tell you that of the two, Bob Hoskins, in terms of dressing, having accessories, and having traditional quote-unquote, is the one that more resembles actual Italian culture, not just, you know, Italian-American.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to do a bit of homework there.
Kudos.
It also has to do with the fact that when you take a look at this movie, like on a more neutral stance, the plot is at best not properly fleshed out, and at worst the concepts are nonsense and very, very silly.
Also, I argue the pace, because in order to get to the good stuff, you have to wait until a very slow opening.
What
And
good
I'm just
stuff?
gonna say it.
Well,
I argue. Well,
yes, Pedro?
Hold on. Tia was saying something.
Just to be quick, a lot of the scenarios that we'll get later do resemble a lot of the cyberpunk aesthetics, particularly typical of the 80s and 90s. I do believe there's some appreciation to be found there, at least of some kind.
Again, like, I'll say this, unlike a lot of other things, I can absolutely get why this has a following here and there. It is not a good movie, but it has good enough concepts here and there that can make it an enjoyable experience.
Yes, Pedro.
Also, I'm gonna say I don't really care for the actress playing Daisy. I don't find her charming.
Actually, who she's played by? Let me see.
I don't find her charming or anything.
Samantha Mathis.
Sorry.
She looks pretty, but that's about it.
I don't know if she ever really had a growing career.
Oh, goody! She was the voice actress of Krista in Ferngully.
Oh, that's what I remember her for. She was also a little woman too.
Yeah. We're mentioning things about
She still does stuff to this very day.
We were saying earlier about things that Bob Hoskins said about the movie. It's an interesting thing he said to Leguizamo regarding the directors.
Go on.
Okay.
Hoskins said to Leguizamo at one point, not all English people are like them. He's a cunt and she's a cow.
Well, again, given what they did to the team, yeah, I can definitely... I can get his sentiments towards them.
Yeah, for those who don't know, cow is in British slang a word used to refer to a woman who's particularly unpleasant. Oh god.
Here you go.
right.
Okay. There you go. Now I can point it out. Okay.
All right. This.
Okay. So here's the gist of it, Shiroi. In Odyssey, they actually did briefly bring back the whole going into paintings kind of thing that from 64. Except what they do in that game is they have a little transition animation where Mario is going it, and it's meant to be a reference to what we're about to see right now.
And to give them credit, they did also give a bit of a reference to the particle thing as well.
Yeah. See, the thing we have to remember about the 3D Mario games post-Sunshine is that, according to Miyamoto, most of the development team working under Koizumi are young developers fresh out of college who grew up during the NES era. So they're all Mario fans who grew up, consuming Mario media.
Again,
this movie included.
This is part of why I can enjoy this movie. Again, it is not good overall, but it does actually have surprisingly a lot of good glimpses to the games here. Now, mind you, I still do wish of things could have been done better here, but it's definitely one I can't bring myself to hate. Well, again, unless I'm thinking about what the directors did to the actors.
This bit is the one that got referenced in Odyssey.
And it's also the first example of Guile's theme goes with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
That being said, man, this green screen looks terrible.
This came out 2 years after Terminator 2.
I do wonder if it's a case where the HD quality accentuates more the difference.
Sure, but like Dwebs just said too, that doesn't happen when you watch the Blu-ray of Terminator 2. So I don't know.
Hey Bob, was that you talking about the actors or the directors?
Okay, I think now with this introduction can be said. From this point on, basically, from what you're about to see for this particular CD, if I remember correctly, Jova, correct me if I'm wrong, all of this was filmed inside a gigantic hangar. And it was like in the middle of the summer, and everything got hot very quickly. So if you're seeing an actor sweating in a particular scene, that's genuine because the characters were literally dying of heat strokes.
Now, mind you, the script originally did not call for this until the new directors came up with their better vision. And don't get me wrong, I actually do think this looks cool. But no, it was not worth sweating everyone like a pig for this.
Question to the Americans in the room.
Go on.
How hot does North Carolina get in the summer?
Oh, it can get pretty hot. Why, though?
Because that's the state where they filmed in.
Okay.
Please tell me it wasn't midsummer.
Apparently it was. Let me check the dates. It began filming in May of 1992 and wrapped up in July.
So yeah, right in the middle of summer. Yeah. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is supposedly the fucking Mushroom Kingdom, a fucking poor man's cheap ass Blade
Runner set.
Well, okay. Let's say what it actually is. It's a Max Headroom set.
Oh god.
Yeah, because that star was the director's speech.
Directors, in case you haven't realized, the Koopas are not dinosaurs; they're turtles.
That's the same thing, Pedro.
They're reptiles close.
They're both reptiles.
Hey, don't harass our baby, which is apparently an egg.
Again, on one hand, this is so outlandish that it fascinates me, but on the other hand, like, god damn, how about not talk about not getting?
And again, mind you,
I can't wait till Mario plus Rabbids Free makes a world based off this.
Again, you know what?
Yes, Pedro.
I just realized something, Shirai. This looks a lot more like a possible Splatoon movie than a Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Keep this away from Splatoon.
This is like what either a fever dream would be described to, or one of those fake movies that one of your friends tells you that they saw in order to appear cool to you.
Okay,
it just happens.
Well, hey, actress from Harry Potter.
Hey, look, he has giant hands, kind of like Bowser in the games. Ha ha.
Shiroi, this is a somewhat looking city resembling something like and full and full of fucked up people. This is Platoon.
So, believe it or not,
you're not wrong, but still keep it away.
Believe it or not,
if I'm not wrong, I won't keep it away. Go on.
Oh.
So, believe it or not, if anyone had to reel in the director's egos for a bit, it was actually Dennis Hopper himself, who was so incensed with how amateurish the project was being run that he actually fell into a tirade, and it got to a point where the directors were like, okay, we'll do whatever you want, just please stop yelling. Granted, he did get his temper under control, though part of me wonders if maybe he should have pulled a bit more weight there. I do get the feeling it was probably a just let's get it done mode at that point. Also, hey, look, guys, his hair's curled a bit like Bowser's.
Very, very poorly. Like, I don't get exactly what part of Bowser they want to resemble with that hairstyle.
I think it's supposed to be the back of a shell.
It's like the very concept of what they wanted to do with this movie was broken from the get-go or something.
If anything,
the entire idea of taking these very clearly very cartoonish characters and trying to somehow transform them, just have them be live-action people with.
Hey guys, look, currency is in the coins.
It's just a dumb thing. Again, there's a reason why the new movie is animated. A Mario movie should be an animated film. Trying to translate the Mario games into live action is.
Hey, they mentioned Wigglers.
Yeah, the Wigglers. It was mentioned. You will also see Blinkering in these moments. The text sheet are labeled as such.
Here's the thing: with Sonic, it works because unlike what. Conflicting things will have you believe the Sonic universe has always had humans in it. Even if you go back,
so does Mario.
Yeah, so does Mario. Like
Mario. What are you talking about?
Yes, but if you let me finish.
Oh damn! Granny's packing heat.
Yes, but here's the thing, Dej.
Wait, Pedro, before you go on, this is a reference to the first episode of TMNT.
Yeah, don't you see?
Yes, Pedro.
Yeah, I don't know, Dej. It was a lot funnier there.
Oh, by the way, this woman here, she's supposed to be the pufferfish, apparently.
Of course.
No. But specifically the puffer spike one.
Anyway, to finish, Pedro.
Yes. For example, if you here's the big difference, Dej. There she is. God damn it.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Remember that the human characters in the Mario universe, much like Mario and Luigi themselves, are supposed to be akin to old Fleischer cartoons. You know, they're literally whereas the human characters in the Mario and the Sonic universe have always been more anime in look. Sonic Unleashed notwithstanding. In fact, if you actually take a look at, for example, the background of chemical plants, you can see a realistic-looking city, like with proper buildings and all that shit. So with Sonic, it actually does make more conceptual sense to try to go the live-action route if you know what you're doing. With Mario, no. Mario are supposed to look like a Max Fleischer cartoon.
New Dong City.
With the guitar, that's supposed to be told.
Yeah.
Okay, originally in the script, actually, it was supposed to be sort of a venture with Mario and Luigi joined by Toad for a lot of it.
You're at arrest for poor singing.
Yes, apparently, this universe, Toad is a wannabe rock star.
Toad can't catch a break in any iteration, can he?
Plumbers,
hey, guys! At least this Toad looks more unique than anything from Paper Mario post Sticker Star. Alright, funny.
Yes.
You're not doing it right, Deji. Hey, guys, I'm Officer Fungus.
I wasn't going for a Toad voice, but yeah, sure.
Okay, so I guess all the girls are back together or something. I don't know.
And you're telling me that among these, none of them is supposed to be Peach. There's
honestly,
not even one that's supposed to be Peach.
I will say, to respond to you, Jova, honestly, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm like, even back when Odyssey came out first, and people took it, I never understood people talking about, oh, it's such a weird juxtaposition with Mario being in New Donk City. Not really. I think the humans in New Donk City still look very. I mean, they don't look as fleishery, but they still look cartoonish.
Yeah, they are much
No,
more human
these-
proportions.
these
Well,
scene,
here we go about the Navy bit.
yeah.
Okay,
Did you see the
okay,
original concept
okay.
of the
Before you
Donk
guys
City
complain,
by
just know this is canon to the game still.
I know, it's still stupid.
Which,
so
honest, you know what? Actually, no. I actually do kind of dig that.
Well, I mean,
Joba, let me have my Italian privileges and tell you that no, it's not funny, it's not quirky, it's not charming in any capacity. It's just very stupid.
well,
No,
I mean,
I
they are the
don't
super-
assume it
they are-
has anything to do with Italian
mean-
culture, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, they are the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess that's the joke they were going with. As that's like one of the few things that the games adapted from this movie.
Again, I'm wondering if also Daisy and Luigi scene was also a thing from this movie. Again, you
Nope.
know. Okay, well, there was a period where Nintendo definitely didn't want to be reminded of this movie. They definitely do seem to have eased up on that. And like I said, that's probably for the best. Like, it happened. Just be good sports about it.
That being said, that being said, yes, like Deji said, eventually they would adapt this. That being said, at the time that this movie came out, there was actually, and it's on YouTube if you can find it there was actually an interview back when Super Mario Bros. Was a big success from a spokesman for Nintendo America who did say, who's someone, and this is someone who asked them about their nicknames before this movie came out. And that guy from Nintendo America specifically said to the interviewer, they're just Mario and Luigi, that's it. They don't have last names.
Yeah,
So,
they did. It wasn't until 2015 where it was like, okay, fine.
Yep,
Yeah.
their
You
last
win.
names are Mario. What is this, Project Cross Zone 2?
So it'd be Project Cross Zone 0.5, technically, since this came out before.
I'm referring
You
to
see,
most
this
of
is
two.
why the
Ah,
movie
his
bombed.
hairdo looks like the toad.
Yeah, actually, we
top.
haven't mentioned the
Cute.
budget yet.
Yeah, let me get it up.
It was pretty high for an independent picture, 42 to 48 million dollars.
And it made 38 point.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you see, here's why this movie bombed at the box office. Everybody, even the kids who did drag their parents to take them to see this movie. By the time we got to either like the first 10 minutes or so, probably they asked to their parents, "Daddy, can we leave, please?"
Actually,
refund.
Okay. As funny a joke as that might be, more likely the main reason this bomb was like, well, this was a dinosaur movie. Shame there was a much better. Anyway, let me finish. Shame there was a much better dinosaur movie that literally came out just a few weeks ahead with Jurassic Park. Had much better effects around here and there. Which is kind of a... You know what's ironic, though? Like, a lot of the cast of Jurassic Park... Well, okay, not to say that they had bad careers, but ironically, I don't think the cast of Jurassic Park had overall as full a career as a lot of the cast in this movie would. Granted, that's sort of in spite of this movie, but
like
yeah.
the exception.
Yeah, it happens, Jova. Like, remember, there's also that joke about how there's also that joke that actors from A New Hope couldn't quite get, like, for example, Mark Hamill went on to end a great voice acting career. His live action career, on the other hand, was just okay at best. Compare this to Carrie Fisher. Well, of course, Carrie Fisher had have mental problems, of course, so that's, of course, a big contributor. Harrison Ford was pretty much the one actor from A New Hope that really took off, basically.
Also, again, but the main question will be in this: in terms of tone, who this movie is even for. Clearly not young children, because there's a lot of, mature and, black comedy. Not really much for a teen audience to vote, because a lot of the stuff requires a bit more brain power to actually get the jokes, to actually absorb in full and get, appreciate the details. And as for adults, it's based on properties we probably never even touched.
The audience that the directors were going for were more of the cyberpunk apocalyptic setting sort. Oh god, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Let me put it like this. I may like this movie. However, yeah, this is one concept even I really don't care for.
Issue, right? There you go. Like Jova just said, cyberpunk post-apocalyptic thing. See? Another. See, you see, this is basically Splatoon. See, I told you. Go on, Jova.
But
so they have
enough,
evolution technology, or de-evolution.
De-evolution. It's kind of like the equivalent of giving, the roboticizer.
Yes, and the writers of this movie, well, normally I would make a Pokemon evolution joke, but Pokemon wasn't around back then.
Well,
so...
one of them was a writer on Bill and Ted.
Yes, these are
and
Goombas.
Apparently,
yes.
Yeah, these are supposed to be Goombas.
No, please
Goombas.
kill that thing. Can I kill that thing with fire, please?
Aside from the appearance, in order to make.
Oh wait, hold on, Biscuit. Yes, he actually evolved from Tyrannosaurus Rex. Remember
like
that for later.
But again, in order to make the rules of the war more consistent, they made so that all the species here being evolved from dinosaurs, when affected by the de-evolver rate, turn into something similar to a reptilian. Fair enough, I get that. But why would you do that include the name of the Goombas, which are supposed to be more like plant or fungal enemies?
They're mushrooms.
I really...
That thing looks so dumb.
This is apparently part of the director's cyberpunk vision, I guess? And I suppose the idea is that with the giant coats, they're sort of shaped a bit like the mushroom places, but
it's
no,
this
is
stupid.
stupid.
They have such a tiny head. Again, making it monstrous, lizard and everything, but why not making it, big?
Arrest these plumbers.
Hey, Jurassic! Almost like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I can't believe they defeat the villain like 40 minutes in.
Not quite per se. He thankfully got out, but...
I hate that hedgehog away.
Yeah, basically.
Came out the same year.
This is what sets up Koopa's rivalry with Mario.
Fair, it's rough, but at least I can see what they were trying to do.
Mushrooms.
Hey, yeah, that's a thing from
They look
Mario.
like candy.
Yeah, they do.
Hey!
Hey, a Baba.
Hold on.
And it's very tiny.
That being said, to give credit, the ball bomb is probably the thing that looks the closest to the games out of all the.
Yeah.
I don't get
also, nobody has pointed this out yet, but isn't it funny how Mario's wearing green and Luigi's wearing red?
Yeah, it's like the people who made this movie never played the games.
Well, okay, to be fair...
Want to be excessively cheeky.
Yeah, I think Tio's history is more on record because, to be fair, when they actually do get the proper costumes on, they are pretty great. Granted, it's a shame how long we take to get to the proper costumes, but what you gonna do?
Well, Jova is like a superhero movie. Whenever they get their costumes, that's supposed to be a major turning point.
I don't really care for it when it takes them, like, near the end of the movie
Also,
to get into them, though.
And even back then, where in superhero movie, were far from being, even remotely considered to be put, more mainstreamly. Mario, the Mario video games do not really lend to the formula, of superhero origin story.
I'll give them credit, these police cars do look pretty cool.
Actually, that to ask, did they make toy sets from these movies?
Yes! Oh, yes. Action figures, toy sets. No, Tio. despite how messy this movie looked, Nintendo were intent to try and pump this movie for its merchandise.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Even though they knew this movie was a dumpster fire, they figured, Mario's too big to fail. I'm sure it'll go far.
Okay, okay, I'm curious, though. I think that the merchandising sales may have turned out good, despite the movie being a box office bomb.
That's actually a good point as well. Jova, I get that this was competing with Jurassic Park, but even so, I mean, it's got Super Mario Brothers on the name. You'd think at the very least it would make some kind of money just based on brand name alone.
Well, again, the quality did come into play here. I will say this. Maybe if Jurassic Park wasn't a thing, this thing might have done better. But, one thing people... Okay, we're in kind of this weird era of movies nowadays where people are sort of reverting to how we were, before the 2000s. Basically, starting with the 2000s, people were much more likely to come to any movie they could because, they were making more here and there. A nice economic boom and all that. Yeah, here's the thing, though. In the wake of COVID, you may have noticed that a lot of movies that would originally have done well aren't doing as well nowadays because, people are once again more picky about what they actually want to risk going to the theaters to go see here and there. Which is leading companies to realize, oh crap, we need to pick our game up again on theaters here. Believe it or not, we were kind of having something similar to that in the 90s as well, where again, people were definitely getting a bit more picky. And again, this isn't to say that, people will just watch anything before the time, but I'd say in the 90s, it was definitely a time where, again, you had to definitely bring your top game to stand out well.
Oh, Java, you can actually go back even further than the 90s, because back when television first became publicly available and cheap enough so that normal people could buy one, there was a big concern that it was going to destroy theaters. And Stanley Kubrick that kind of thing happens all the time. That whenever a new, more accessible version.
Also, I'm sorry. Am I watching the Mario Brothers movie or fucking Blues Brothers?
Teo, what makes you think we're watching a Mario movie exactly?
They're called Mario. Okay. To give us
name only.
The hero from the past who defeated the goblins in the neck game is called Marius.
Anyway, I will give this movie another thing. I do like the Mario Brothers leitmotif.
Yeah, the music is good.
I mean, it's like I said, the half the time, I think Alan Silvestri. It feels like to me Alan Silvestri was scoring for a different movie, but that soundtrack ended up here for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of times the music is good on its own merits, but it doesn't seem to really fit the tone and scene. But yeah, like I was saying, remember back in the 50s, when TVs became publicly available, there was a genuine concern that those things will go. And Stanley Kubrick was even one of the ones that. Guess what Stanley Kubrick said in an interview about that shit. He said it very eloquently, but I'll translate it to how I would say it. Simple. Maybe filmmakers should just, make better movies.
Exactly. Which is, again, a lesson that people...
Which is kind of what happened in the end of the 70s. I mentioned in the Willy Wonka commentary that the 70s was not a good decade. There were exceptions, and mostly that happened at the end of it, with the big three Star Wars, Jaws, and The Exorcist.
Keep in mind so go on.
Going back to this, actually, yeah, you want to know how big Jurassic Park was? At the time, Jurassic Park was big enough that it became the highest-grossing film to date at that point.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, needless to say, again, another similar dinosaur venture going up against that was probably going to get compared. And, again, that probably did not help matters here.
Look, that, G. They somehow predicted the climax of Super Mario Sunshine.
Speaking of this scene, this was one comment that Fiona Shaw, who plays Bowser's
mistress,
this is what she said in regards to it. The script we had at first was witty. Now we have to bathe in worms.
Oh, actually, this is a good time for me to bring up what the directors did that was really dickish. So, those Goomba costumes? How they look very well clipped to the actor's skin and all that. Yeah. So, at some point, one of the directors thought that, well, the look of the Goomba was not lifelike enough. So they wanted it to properly, be more, how shall we say, skin-flitted to it or whatever it was. In order to do that, the director...
Rocky Morton, I think it was in this case.
The director took a cup of coffee and poured it on the actor's face, and we have several...
Poured it down the back of his neck.
No. It was actually on his face, too, like, all
That's
over.
still hot coffee. What the fuck?
Now, okay, and mind you, we have several different actor eyewitness accounts here. However, the one thing the director says in his defense is that, it was actually cold coffee.
I'm sorry.
Even though everyone else claims it was hot. And yes, that dress.
Also, I need to point out, this woman, the one dressed in blue, what the fuck? She literally comes in, looks at all the girls in here, and goes, we need someone to help us. And she absolutely looks like she's horny as fuck, as she says and looks at them. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this movie?
So actually, here's the thing, though. This technology actually comes with an evolution function.
It's the Evolve Array.
Yes. Again, normally I would make a... Oh, they got their knowledge of evolution from watching Pokemon, but Pokemon wasn't a thing at the time, so I can't make that joke.
So with evolution, it can actually enhance someone for the better.
Okay, Mrs. Scriptwriter, let me explain something to you. Just because you increase the size of someone's brain, that doesn't mean they now suddenly know everything. Because information does not suddenly pop up in someone's brain.
Pedro, the Matrix told me otherwise.
No. That has them loading information into their brain.
Yeah. What Webb said, that's different too. They're literally using a computer to copy information into the brain. That's different.
Okay.
What they did here is they increased the guy's brain.
Okay,
that's different.
To be fair, it's more like he increased their intelligence, and I think that the whole brain increasing thing is just a side effect of it. I don't think they're saying that, it's just because the brain got enlarged that it was suddenly them smarter. Again, to be fair, to simplify it, he evolved them so that they became smarter or more complex in thinking here and there. So, honestly...
And they're also using cartoon logic for this.
Yeah, honestly, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying,
okay. To give him credit, this actually does make her look more like how Daisy was dressed in Super Mario Land. So,
I guess. That being said, like Theo was saying earlier, for a film that was supposedly aimed at kids, because remember, the big audience of the games at the time was kids. And yet there's a lot of cleavage, there's a lot of adult jokes, like what the
to be fair, a lot of kid stuff had cleavage and adult jokes back in the day.
Let me put it this way, Jova, and also to put it in perspective, the competitor Jurassic Park did manage to have in it also, adult jokes in it, but it felt more like on point and not as in barrage. This is kind of like in a bit kind of like the first Casper movie, where, although in this case it's more also in a case of quantity, not just the lower quality of them.
I think we should also point out the Ian Malcolm fan service for the ladies in Jurassic Park as well.
Well, my point also is that I do believe there is a methodology that Jurassic Park was doing better than this in doing that.
Oh, gee, Jurassic Park doing something better than this, imagine.
You know what I said.
Fair enough.
That's racist! Oh, so she's not in the Lover Castle.
What is up with this actress? Your princess is here.
I guess she's jealous. Again,
those are spiked costumes.
Again,
here it is, Dweebs. Yeah, goddamn, is it
Any-
BRB?
Whatever.
Moment.
Anyway, it's weird because for some things they do get the costumes pretty well, and then they get some stuff weird off. Oh, by the way, this animatronic cost them a good portion of the money.
Just what that animatronic is.
Dibs is burped, so let's wait a bit. Oh, look, it's a Velociraptor?
No.
Guess.
I think that's a baby T-Rex.
Oh, no.
What is that creature?
Yeah, Dibs.
That is supposed to be Yoshi.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Seriously, it looks. It's just a generic dinosaur.
Hashtag
There's
not
no-
my Yoshi.
The eyes are beady. Not to mention, he doesn't even look cute. He looks gross. This
Wait.
isn't my Yoshi.
You know
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
You know, okay, here's one thing I've wondered. So you guys evolved from dinosaurs, yet you have dinosaurs as pets too. Oh, well, you know what? Okay, you know what, to be
Mickey
fair.
Mouse logic.
I mean, we have
To
monkeys.
be fair, yeah, I was about to say, some of us do have pet monkeys, so I guess this isn't too weird.
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
this world, despite this evolution, the world kind of
Hold
became
on,
shit.
I might have missed it to Jova. Did we already pass through the first time he orders the pizza?
No.
No, we haven't gotten
okay.
there.
All
That's
I'm
not till
So,
pretty much later into the movie.
So here's the
You know what,
main,
Bowser? You gave me a good suggestion.
so here's the main plot of the movie. Basically, Daisy, quote unquote, here has some part of the meteorite that came with the destruction of the dinosaurs in our universe.
Mm-hmm.
That, when used, can bring together the dimensions of this planet and our planet Earth. And Bowser wants to use it so he can
Rule both
rule-
of them.
rule both of them at the same time.
This is
Yeah.
Bring this horrible CGI to everybody.
This is because okay. Now this is because that the world that the dinosaurs got after the meteorite didn't kill them but sent them to an alternate dimension. Yeah, a lot of it was good until it kind of gotten rotten down, and now it's just this one city left.
I mean, there were still like fossils of
Ew.
colored dinosaurs. So
This
maybe
Okay.
is so creepy.
You know, again, for kids.
Also, to sum, okay, that's Dibs' detailed summary. Allow me to put the summary in shorter terms. Here's the plot synopsis. There you go. There's your plot synopsis. Like, it's
Also,
just,
Okay.
shirtless John Leguizamo, I guess.
Okay, so to be more fair and actually explain the plot here, so yeah, well, we already mentioned how Koopa wants the stone here and there.
Yeah.
However, you may notice he is giving these weird dinosaur mannerisms. This is because he was partially caught in the Devo chamber here and there, which is sort of foreshadowing for stuff to come.
also, can I mention that vehicle looks so incredibly goofy and what the
Hey,
fuck?
it's the vehicle from the first Mass Effect. I forgot its name already.
Oh, the
a vehicle.
no, it's the
Whatever,
the Mako, the Mako.
Yeah, thank you, the vehicle.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yippee!
Oh my god, shut up. You're not funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
with Philosophy.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
That guy
You know-
with that awkward haircut looks like a Sam Hyde character.
You know, the actors were probably just relieved that they got an outdoor scene that wasn't in that godforsaken
Yeah.
warehouse.
Anger, yeah.
Also, Jova, this begs the question. Was that him acting? Or was Bob genuinely pissed off?
Actually,
Yes.
yeah, let me check if let me also check if there were other improvised moments.
Oh yeah, sure. When things go wrong, always blame Scapelli. The Scapellis. Oh, I'm so glad I got a bunch of chocolate with me today. Yeah. This is basically the thing now. Tio has his alcohol. I've got my choc.
Yeah, apparently the Fisher Stevens and Richard Edson, the characters, the actors who played the roles of Spike and Iggy, most of their lines were improvised by them. So there is some degree of
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, this shot.
That shot just now. Yeah, that was-
Ambitious yet mistaken.
No, not just that, Tail. What does that look like to you that would come in the years after this? I don't know. It's kind of like the Die Hard NES game, like.
But yeah, no, Big Bertha, as you may recall, is like the big, violent Cheep from Mario games. Whereas here, she's a brick house.
Okay.
Now, as for the directors, Annabelle Jankel did go on to make adverts for like Coca-Cola, AOL, and the like. Plus, she also came back to the UK and did some TV shows like Live from Abbey Road on Channel 4, and a 2018 lesbian film called Tell It to the Bees.
What?
Rocky Morton has done things.
Uh-huh.
And before this, the pair directed a neo-noir film in 1988 called DOA, which starred Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan.
Hey, Pedro, it may please you to know that the woman playing Big Bertha was on Grey's Anatomy, your favorite show.
Also, I do wonder, were those masks supposed to represent the Shy Guys?
The
Yes.
Slippets specifically?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
okay, here's
well,
the weird thing
well.
about this movie. It does have some nice bits here and there where it actually does remember what it's based
You know
on.
what this reminds me, Pedro, in terms of having the idea what the source material it is and yet adapting it in such a bizarre way for doing this complete like sci-fi setting? Pinocchio 3000. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Pretty much.
There, connected everything. Fuck
I'm,
yeah.
I'm sorry I made you watch that, Tia.
Was
Send
it
me
that
more
bad for
vodka.
him?
It seems to be also free for this Halloween.
Was the experience that bad for him, Dutch?
Okay,
I think we saw the Polish Shore film.
To be fair, I think based on the time we're recording this, the Polish Shore movie is worse. I do seem to have more of a soft spot for Pinocchio 3000, but again, I want to save it when me and Deji and Pedro will make our own tier list.
I wonder if the Malcolm McDowell involvement helped with that.
Yeah. Probably the like outside of very straight adaptations, probably one of the most nicer surprises is Geppetto, because that movie is actually decent.
So yeah,
They gotta get the meteorite off Big Bertha, but how will they do it?
Also,
kinda get
why
the
is Mario
feeling-
dressed like a pimp?
for the occasion.
What occasion?
I mean, Luigi.
Well, he's at a club. So
It's
he
time
can't-
Because
for
you
Mario to get to the dance floor.
this woman has the rock that we need in her cleavage, so Mario has to seduce
Ow.
her.
Oh!
Yeah.
I
'Cause,
feel
you
like
know,
this
is-
was afraid to, ashamed to be a video game movie.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, oh yeah, and you know what? That is one of the most frustrating things you can do is constantly tease audiences with bouts where you actually do get stuff right, only to shy away from it for so much.
And this unfortunately set up the stigma that followed in years through. Again, remember, this was the first, this was the first major, video game movie, theatrical movie adaptation, and it set up a precedent that sadly would be continued for a lot of video games movie to generally have a very low quality to them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, lady, your dress is gonna hurt someone.
No,
That's kinky.
Yeah. Outside of the first Mortal Kombat movie, the curse went on for quite a while until Detective Pikachu broke it.
well,
I'd say the first Angry Birds.
okay. To be fair, we still did have video game movies that were actually a success, like the Mortal Kombat movie was a success.
I'm talking about being faithful to the source material.
Well, again, you know what? The first Mortal Kombat movie, I would argue.
I mean, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I said. That but aside from the Mortal Kombat movie, that's
What
what
about the
I said.
first?
Well, the Mortal Kombat movie ended up influencing the games more than anything.
What about
Which I
the,
know John
my.
What about the
I know
first?
John Tobias kind of regrets that.
What about the first Street Fighter?
No, Dweebs, as much as the movie is very enjoyable, at best you can treat it as a prequel to Street Fighter 2.
Oh, the
but
betrayal.
But it's still, a bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a Belgian playing an American with a thick Belgian accent, so yeah.
Of course. The police always ruining the party.
And of course, here we come to that one breakout song everybody remembers from this movie. Everybody Walk the Dinosaur.
Ugh.
I heard this song is actually about nuclear war, but I haven't listened to it to analyze it.
Ironic.
I like this song, but yeah.
Pedro and Edge, and to an extent also Joe, I guess. You guys are more experienced with the TMNT movies. I think that this movie might have been also inspired by them in terms of
definitely. They're dinosaurs, Tio. They're into that.
Too bad they didn't took inspiration from what made those movies good. Well, the first two specifically.
We had a 1 death number, so that means now I'm on your side.
Yes. Oh, and now she's on their side because...
Well, Mario romanced her. Yeah.
Yeah, with 1 dance scene.
Hey. To be fair, they're both two hot people. I can get where the attraction may come.
Yeah,
that said, oh, yeah. Oh, no. It's more attraction on her side. Like, Mario still was doing a bit to get the necklace, but hey, and look, they jump high, just like in the game.
Is this supposed to be a reference to Curry Post Shoe?
Actually, the stompers are just, this whole stomping thing from the Mario games.
It could have been so easily quote-unquote fixable and say that because they hail from a different kind of universe, Mario and Luigi are technically lighter in terms of gravity, and this is the reason why they can jump higher.
No, that's too smart, Tio. Stop that.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Instead we have to overcomplicate this by having jet boots.
I mean, the jet boots look...
We wanted to sell merchandise.
Okay, I'll say this. The jet boots look cool, but Tio does have a point. It would have been cool if they went with, like, a Superman effect, where the atmosphere works different for humans.
And it's also easier for both an explanation for the audience and also for practical effects, because this was the period of the wire jumps of Doom, so you might as well use them instead of having this stupid prop about the jet boots.
Can I just say this? Ironically enough, wire jumps of Doom were much better hidden in the 90s than they were in the 2000s.
Geez,
oh, goody. Oh.
I'm still too sober for this.
Okay. God, I really
isn't the solution to everything.
It is for me, damn it.
I really want to reveal the special plot twist about this fungus.
Can you stop with the saliva?
Tio,
that's not saliva.
Yeah, that's not saliva. That's just Tio.
This is a butthole.
Okay, Dej, you're not helping him.
Can you also stop, comparing it to Dennis' awkward wide-angle face?
Yeah. I really hate how like in recent years, ever since a certain election, everyone kept comparing.
No,
that's the
do
last
not
thing
even.
I want for this. I know that it's an easy comparison. Yes, I get it, but I just don't want it.
Listen here.
That
was it.
Okay. There you go. What you just heard, Shiroi, is the beginning of King Koopa's big running gag for this movie. It won't pay off.
Okay. I'll admit, I never really got the big hate for that gag. Like, it's not really funny, but it's not like it constantly came back into the movie either.
Hey, also, it's a better
My
pizza
problem-
joke than the one in the Digimon movie.
My problem
Yes.
with it is that there's no payoff to there's literally no punchline to the joke. It's just him ordering a pizza and then complaining that he never got it. That's it. Like,
Is
it
that the
feels
end
like
of the gag?
that's what it
Oh,
feels like.
goody. Okay, what I do like about this is that this will actually be a preface for a scene that is actually somewhat of a clever homage to Super Mario 64.
The one thing also that I will give to this is that this is actually one major advantage that they had, because for one reason or another, aside from very few exceptions, the game really did not showcase the fact that again Mario and Luigi are supposed to be plumbers.
Well, first
But
off,
in here, they actually do use their skills.
Yeah, I actually do appreciate that.
first off, Joker, how can it be a homage? Super Mario 64 wasn't out for another 3 years.
To be fair, and
Here
there
we
it is.
go.
Okay,
There you
yeah,
go,
I will
see?
say it. I like those costumes, but
And
yes.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
I kind of wish they
They're
still
fine.
had the letters, though.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god,
there's,
I've heard that Game Alert sound effect in others
Yeah,
places.
The outfits don't look bad, but for me, this is just too little, too late.
Also, John Leguizamo Luigi wears his cap backward because he's so hip.
Well, Tio, it was the 90s, and hey, I will
I
admit...
still don't get the idea of making Luigi this much younger than Mario. I always got the idea they were never that much separated by age.
Yeah, here's the thing: Mario and Luigi are fraternal twins.
Also, yeah...
Even so, I thought the idea of it would have been like a year, 2 or tops.
No, they're twins.
Yeah, even more so then.
They're technically twins. It's just that Mario was born first, basically.
Dennis, I know that the movie sucks, but can you do a better take?
Look, have you seen the movie, man? You're saying that I should bring my A game into
And
this
I also
movie.
get it when you're sweating like a furnace because you're in this kind of hangar with a black leather jacket. Still.
Oh boy.
So is she supposed to be Kamek?
I guess.
Wait, was Paper Mario even a thing at this time?
Kamek was in Yoshi's.
Oh wait, never mind. You're talking about Kamek. I thought you were talking about Cammy. So what you're saying, Deds, is that Kamek secretly is a yandere lover for Bowser. If that's the case,
or it's just like, remember Species, I guess they would probably want to.
Considering Kamek actually was also the one who practically raised the baby Bowser in Yoshi's Island, as the Yoshi's Island game showcase, that creates some hook level of disturbing implications, Joe.
Okay, you want to know something funny?
What?
Kamek is actually the name of the species, but for the Western localization, translated to like only one of them is named Kamek.
Huh.
Okay.
Indeed.
I don't. I get it, movie. I'm still too sober.
Well,
Get that thing off my screen. And get that off.
Oh, hey, Toad.
It doesn't work either way, Dwebs. The Goombas don't look like Goombas. Yoshi doesn't look like Yoshi. Bowser doesn't look like... Well, sorry. King Koopa doesn't look like King Koopa. Nobody looks like how they should.
Well, Luigi and Mario kind
It
of.
really is like that fake Sonic movie poster with Danny DeVito, Vin Diesel, and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I wonder if she actually is supposed to be Kamek. Shoot, let me check.
If not, I don't know who is she supposed to be.
An original character, maybe?
Do not steal. I don't know, the lighting kind of sucks for this room.
I mean, it's a cell, so...
You think it would be a bit more gray instead of your orange?
Maybe he likes orange.
Oh my. Good movie.
Hey, he did the tongue thing.
Because he has the wrong tongue. Oh god, is he gonna... I forgot actually, is he gonna eat her?
No, wait, watch this.
Swallow her whole and everything?
Yoshi just got shanked!
He's dead!
No, Yoshi just got flippin' shanked, man. Holy cow.
Yoshi died for our sins.
He does, he has a long tongue. He's totally Yoshi.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Like,
Okay.
just like how Mario and Luigi are Mario and Luigi because they wear those outfits, and just because a Koopa is Koopa just because he has the thingy hair, and Toad is Toad because he has a funny haircut.
Oh,
Listen, he's not Yoshi until we push him off a cliff, okay?
Oh, by the way,
Wow,
since...
sure, okay. I see what you do. Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me that you throw the penguin away in Mario 64.
I didn't play that one much, but anyway, yes, Pedro.
Imagine a Spyro live-action movie where they all look like lizards.
Well,
I'm going to the studio and making everyone feel unsafe.
well,
Wasn't one of the comments that people made about the reignited trilogy the fact that the freed dragons in the first game are much more like DeviantArt's fetish?
well, dragons were lizard-like, so
Are you talking about the original?
I know they're mythical, but
Wait, are you talking about? Oh yeah. Nicholas Cole. His if you look at his artwork, it's like, yeah.
is that the person
In this
who had
game, the artist barely disguised fetish.
Jover, is this Jover? Was the one on fire? The guy that had his,
Okay,
was that the
Theo.
one that had the coffee poured down the back of his neck?
Am
Okay.
I having seasickness or is the camera undulating?
Oh, God, Jesus.
Okay. I'm not sure, but to go back to that also, you want to know what was the icing on the top of the crab cake there? The director was reported to have said, "Oh, it's just an extra." Again, he claims that the coffee was cold, but everyone
Please
else claims it
don't
was
show it
hot,
again.
so yeah. So yeah, this is your father, Daisy. Apple fell a bit far from the tree there.
That looks like a big mountain of snot.
It's a
Very
fungus,
rotten
Pedro.
apple. Yeah. It's a Worm Zero from the
See, this is
archetypes.
See, this is definitely right for a Halloween pick.
Please don't close up.
It's funny again, but no, I can't say it until we see a
Not
thing
yet,
about
Jova,
it.
because don't worry, we're still gonna see him
I know.
again.
Yeah.
Get it, Mario! It's heights, even
Also-
though there's no fire
Also,
damage
here's a
so
weird
far.
thing though. For some reason, Mario doesn't have his stomper boots anymore. Where did those go?
Great continuity.
In fact, where did Luigi's go? I guess they took those off in the elevator? Even though I could have sworn that they had them on when they left. Well, of course, like Monster Family 2 taught us, you have to believe in something.
You gotta believe.
Can I believe in a better movie?
No.
I'm sure we'll get one soon.
And Mario died. Is this a
Oh, wow.
Dorkly's kit now?
Wait, boing, hey! Jumping off of a mushroom, just like in the game.
Poorly, like.
They're a baseball
Baseball
team.
joke.
Yeah, New York Yankees.
Yeah, that one's good enough.
Yeah, he's a fake New Yorker. He should be rooting for
No,
Mets.
I don't want to.
Thank God you're alive, Yoshi.
No, this is disgusting. Hashtag not my Yoshi.
Well, that doesn't mean he
Man,
has to
I
die.
wish I was there when you first saw Yoshi.
I was.
Well, thank goodness is... Tio, they're having a father-daughter time here.
Jova! Cease!
Do you at least
Well-
have vodka this time?
Shira, why do you think I'm in this state right now?
Oh, I thought it was because you didn't have enough.
Yeah, me too.
It is never enough.
Well, I know what to
Yesterday
do.
I could not actually drink because I did not have it. I knew this was coming.
Wait, quick, Daisy, put him down.
Yeah,
You know-
pull the trigger, Daisy.
You know, I have seen some really weird pornos in my day, but this is by far the weirdest.
Huh?
And that's saying something.
Remember, guys, that's a
Hotline.
laser pointer gun. It doesn't. Oh, there we go.
I mean, look. I mean, I know what you're gonna say, but at the same time, look at how the actress playing Daisy acts. Like she acts just like a porn actress. So...
Yeah. Oh, no. I'll give her some credit. I feel like her acting's fine enough. Like it's nothing. Okay, it's not gonna give like her any Oscars any moment, but it's fine. It does the job.
Shooting Broken Arrow.
Okay, basically, if you recall correctly, they locked all the valves so that they could freeze the pipes up later, which will help out in the long run.
Hooray.
And now a bizarre thing. This movie is remembering the fact that mushrooms can actually communicate with each other thanks to their system of, connected nerves.
So
So
kudos
bizarre.
there.
Like, congratulations. I appreciate that you did your research on the subject matter for real life. But
And I
it's
guess
so
to be
bizarre
fair-
be seeing in this movie.
I guess to be fair, Koopa turning the king into a fungus sort of is a bit of an homage to the original games where Bowser uses his magic to turn the toads into inanimate
Blocks,
objects.
You think they're gonna adapt that in a new movie or not?
If only
Possibly.
they had done, if only they had also done research on the bloody source material.
No, that's the thing. Okay, the original script had done its research on it. As to the new directors, they apparently were well informed. Okay, here's the paradoxical thing about this. This movie feels like it's made by people who did know the source material, but thought that they could do it better, essentially. Because, okay, no, they clearly are knowledgeable of aspects from the games, it's just that they do them in their own weird ways. Again, it's like with Godzilla 1998, where Roland Emmerich thought he could show everyone how to truly get Godzilla right. And,
Why
no,
does it keep
he didn't.
creating stuff?
He ended up creating a creation that got mocked by everyone to hell and back, and literally showed up in a Godzilla movie just to get beaten up by the real Godzilla. Tio, maybe you should lie down for a bit.
Sorry.
I now know Tio's weakness.
Fungus?
I don't even know that's what you can use against me on that.
I can just spam it to you on DMs.
Why would you do that?
Okay,
Yeah, that sums up how Luigi is in this movie. A child.
okay, I'll give Dennis Hopper credit. That whole "I'll meet you back in the playground" thing was delivered
Yeah,
coolly
again, I have to
enough.
say what I said at the beginning. One gigantic problem of this movie is that it moves way too fucking slow in everything.
Sorry, guys. The Asian is.
Despite a lot of things happening in quick succession as well, generally the movie feels very slow. Both the beginning, when trying to rescue Princess Daisy, showcasing how the world is, and now this climax bit.
Boo!
Mr. Koopa sends his regards.
Okay. So now it's time for Mario to do what he does best.
Crushing things under his feet.
That and saving
Wait, the year
damsels.
is 1993. What WrestleMania is this?
WrestleMania 9,
Oh my god,
Where did that take place?
Las Vegas.
Are you mentioning that because he mentioned WrestleMania earlier?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Well, okay. Interesting thing, that WrestleMania is known as one of the worst of its kind.
So basically, Koopa was doing Mario a favor.
Yeah, there you go. He ain't so bad a guy.
Yeah, he prevented him from seeing Hulk Hogan politic his way to the title.
Something tells me I don't want to know.
Considering you guys told about, Chucky from Child's Play being a guest, I'm surprised they didn't try to promote this movie by having Bob Hoskins at least in a match. Ah.
It's like when having to promote one of Arnie's movies in 2000 or something had him be on SmackDown.
Okay, so this is another thing I have to wonder if Super Mario 64 took inspiration for, because, yeah, as Mario mentioned, they froze the pipes earlier.
Also, I think the sound mixing in this film is pretty bad.
I can hear that a lot of stuff has been ADR'd.
So, yeah, they froze the pipes and they're about to go for a slide ride. Which really makes me wonder, did Mario 64 get the inspiration from that too? Like, again, I honestly do wonder. If this was one of those things where Nintendo were like, oh, no, we're totally going to ignore this, but secretly they were taking some notes, like, refining them, obviously, for the better.
They did take Luigi's cowardly personality from Super Show.
Yeah.
Hooray.
That's the thing, Dej.
Okay, here we go. This is probably my favorite scene in the movie.
The slide.
Yes. I mean, I
accept only the Siva Gardner versions.
Terrence said he wants them to play the slide scream at his funeral.
Is this going to?
I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Is this going to be part of the Universal Studios Japan ride?
Yeah,
maybe.
Did they ever made an attraction, theme park attraction based on this?
I
No.
think
Well, they were going to, but because of how bad this movie did, scrapped.
Yeah. That said, though, this scene is actually pretty cool.
I mean, at least it's not like the Cat in the Hat where they literally stopped the movie to chill out on the Universal.
I mean, that was funny.
No,
Yeah.
Dej. Look,
Tio, I don't like that movie, but I'll give it credit where it's due.
And now Mario is about to put a wrench in their plans.
Literally.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, snap. Didn't think this through. And there's fire behind us, so yeah, we kind of have to go.
Yeah, Thwomp is now a building.
Hey, look, he's got the powerful kicks, too. Whee!
Oof, these effects. Were we interrupting something?
And there you go. Pizza joke's concluded. Like, honestly, I never really got the attention that joke gets. Like, it's there, and it's done.
Huh?
Yeah, remember, Mario and Luigi introduced some of the Goombas to a dance of sorts.
That was a weird laugh.
Yeah, what was with that?
Ooh! Hey, he gave him the boot, just like Mario does in the games. And look, he's shooting fireballs from what looks like the Koopa Clown car from the classic games. Finally, we're getting something resembling.
I feel like that's a stretch.
Nah, I really do think that's what they're going for, especially given what they do later with him. However, that being said, The fact that we're finally getting something resembling a Mario game this late into the movie, yeah, it's about too little too late. Like, I enjoy the sequence, but no, again, I acknowledge that this movie was beyond saving at this point. Like, okay, look, you need a finale at least as good as Lone Ranger 2013 to be, like, you know, even considered salvageable, and no, this ain't it.
I'm sorry, Koopa. How did you not hear the rattling?
That's a good question.
All the rattling going about.
I mean, the Super Show was unfunny and stupid, but at the very least it was modeled after. But at least it was modeled after the game.
Also, again, for kids, watch people getting electrocuted on set.
It's okay.
Oh,
she's
she's
all right.
fine.
She's just been driven a bit more insane by it, but she's fine.
Oh yeah, I remember the boss fight in Mario 2, where he clung underneath Bowser's.
That's more so actually Super Mario World with the Koopa Clown car.
Mario 2 did not even have Bowser; he had Wart.
Well, unless we're talking about the original Super Mario Brothers 2, but yeah, no. Let's just say that you're better off with the American version of Super Mario Brothers 2. And apparently even Japan agreed because, you know, Super Mario Brothers 2 American version is the one that's more remembered.
But they got Doki Doki Panic.
Well, don't you mean Doki Doki Literature Club?
See, the thing about the Lost Levels is that it's nothing but just a ROM hack, and like Johnny put out in his review, a very badly done ROM hack.
No, it's an official ROM hack where the difficulty is ramped up to insane degrees.
Yeah, but like Johnny said, it may look like Mario, but the level design doesn't feel like Mario.
Okay, so one thing to remember that was spoken earlier, it needs to be
supposed to be comic.
Yeah, it has to be a specific person who handles the stone. Otherwise, something bad might happen.
Alright, time to see another reference to the game we did foreshadowed before.
Oh, snap! Wait.
Again, why?
And that's where he saw his career go.
Again, to give him credit, to be fair, he got to be in Speed later, so that was good.
Why are you closing up so hard on Dennis Hopper's face?
To show how serious this is. Oh, snap.
Well.
Good job, guys.
You sure about that?
Has there been a game where you actually have to rewind a bomb?
There is at least a minigame in Mario Party.
No, that's a Shy Guy.
Yeah, that's the Shy Guy.
But hold on.
Mario Party 2.
It's still going.
Environmentalist.
Yeah, apparently the fuse takes its sweetest time on the bomb.
Oh, but don't you see, Theo, that's because in movies, grenades and bombs only blow up when the plot requires them to. It's like in Shazam. It's not Shazam. Steel. Yeah, it's like in Steel, where where the grenade takes its sweet time exploding just so they can do a full comedic routine about it.
And she's insta-dead.
Yeah, that's what happens. If you're not, of royalty, that happens when you try and do it.
She sure got boned.
It's the time travel effect from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Stop. Okay. God.
Shit, I think about it. Didn't that movie come out this year too?
Oh, snap.
I'll look it up. I don't feel so good, Mr.
I
Mario.
don't feel so good.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, Pedro, it came out the same year.
Fuck hell, 1993 was a mixed bag of a year.
Oh no, guys! The planets are merging.
1994, a good year for New York-based properties.
Wait, what else comes to mind?
TMNT 3. This.
TMNT freaking
Well,
out this
do
year
we
as well.
really consider TMNT 3 a New York-based one, given now, turtles traveling through time and all that?
Yeah, but they're the turtles.
Oh, man.
It takes place mostly in ancient Japan, but there is a subplot of Casey Jones that's really stupid and unfunny. Hey, look, a super scope.
Which turns into... Hold on, wait for the line. There we go, we can go home now.
There's the line.
So, yeah, Scapelli was supposed to be Donkey Kong, which,
Yes, clearly, because Donkey Kong is clearly a chimpanzee and not
I
a
don't
gorilla.
believe you. I feel like you're just speculating.
No, look it up.
Look it up, that actually is a thing, apparently. I mean,
Wow,
would
this
you
movie
really-
gets
would
a
you-
zero.
would you really put it past this movie to do something like that, Edge?
I just...
Trust the
What?
fungus.
Look, Edge, it's just terrible. Just roll with it.
Oh,
my.
Wait, what's stopping him from
Fuck
just
here.
going back?
Wow, that happened.
Well, first they have to put the stone back in, and yes, that bomb's
No,
still
but
going.
there's a portal that he can go to.
Well, okay, remember, Ditch. His plan was to merge the whole worlds together, not just go through.
I guess at the very least, the stop motion animation on the ball is funny. So there's
I think
that.
it's supposed to be an actual
No.
wind up toy.
Yeah, it actually is an actual wind-up.
Why are the Goombas wearing harmonicas?
No.
Well,
It's
that
just
one's Toad.
it's just that one because he's Toad.
He's a Goomba now at this point, so...
One of the Goombas mockingly gave him the harmonica earlier.
Play Somewhere, My Love.
Yep, I can imagine the kids writing to the Hollywood people saying, "Can we, Mum?
Remember,
Excuse me,
Mario
but
and
can
Luigi
we
introduced
have,
them to that song. Also, thanks, Big Bertha.
Can we have the Goombas play the harmonica?"
He's shooting fireballs like Bowser.
Yes.
Yeah, that means he's totally... Wow, Christ, we're only 11 minutes away from the ending.
That bomb keeps on going.
Alright, duel of super scopes. And there you go, let's...
Time to Devo him. We'll make him look
man.
like Bowser one way or another.
No, not really.
It doesn't. Also, he's wearing British Reebok.
Yeah,
That's the Bob-omb.
Because why not? Where'd their hats go?
They got blown up from the force of the Devo guns. Look! It's Koopa really in the clown car now.
It's a xenomorph.
No, wait. You will look like Bowser! We're gonna Devo him until he looks like Bowser. No, seriously.
Oh.
Hey! For a moment there, he actually did look just like Bowser in the games. Remember, Bowser was actually more
Why is
green
he
back
slime
then.
now?
Well, this was sort of hinted at beforehand when he mentioned the Devo technology about how he believes that, people started from single-cell slime and all that.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Koopa got turned into a slime and he died.
Celebration toaster.
But hey, the music's good.
What's Warby Drova?
Oh, we're about to get to that moment. because believe it or not, there is one big star we have not yet
Yeah.
seen in this movie.
Yeah.
They're all cheering because filming's over.
And also
Yeah,
because they got
basically.
rid of the
We
dictator.
can go home.
Can be
What the-
freed from this literal furnace we're
What, the
building
directors?
in.
When you say dictator, Joey, do you mean the directors?
Aside from the directors.
Oh, go.
Here we
The
go.
movie's almost over.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lance Henriksen as King Bowser. No!
Why is Lance Henriksen in this movie?
And no!
Because
And get this, I did not misspeak. No, the script actually calls that this king's name is actually King Bowser. So in this case, King Bowser is not the evil King Koopa, but he is the king that King Koopa turned into a fungus.
Also,
Fuck
to
off,
answer your
movie.
question, he was walking past the studio and they kidnapped him.
Fuck off, movie.
Oh, by the way, Frank Welker is the voice of Yoshi and the Goombas.
poor
Does
Frank.
she had a voice?
Yes.
Well, grunts, remember too. Frank Walker does a lot of animal grunts for movies
No,
and
I
cartoons.
did not pay attention. I thought the Yoshi had just talk dinosaur sound effects.
Oh, no. Luigi and Daisy can't be together. Oh no.
Who cares?
I thought Tia was the one supposed to be.
Joy, how will I go?
Not for nothing, but aren't they just a portal visit away?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, guys, you'll all be able to cope if you just believe in each other hard enough.
That too. But Deji,
Also,
we
you
really
shut
want
up.
this to be a very sad farewell. Even though it doesn't make any bloody sense.
Again, this is what I mean. Again, it's really hard to pinpoint who this movie is for. With this emotional value and everything, seems more ideally also for adults and everything, but they might not get the full enjoyment because, again,
I can tell who this movie's for.
The younger audience.
I can tell who this movie's for too. People who are stoned off their fucking asses.
Oh, by the way,
There you
Lena's
go.
skull is still imprinted there.
Hey, Yoshi.
And that dinosaur's still here.
Bye, Yoshi.
I thought it just gave him the finger for a second.
Don't call him that.
That's exactly it, Sheila. That's the movie giving Mario fans the finger. There you go.
I mean, they did that with the opening narration, so.
Oh, for a second I thought it was Darth Vader coming behind them.
Honestly, yeah, the movie does sound way somber for that moment. Like, holy cow.
She's leaving you for the dino guy, Luigi.
Dang.
About that, Shiroi.
I don't know.
3 weeks later.
I don't know how I can't exactly how miraculous world as you put it movie gave us this movie, so I'm not entirely sure if it's really all that miraculous.
Also, Shiroi.
Oh, it's a show. Okay.
Hey!
That's the Tower.
Oh, and by the way, Dwibs, reminder, there is a post-credit scene.
now guess
Whoa! They're actually making a sequel. See, I told you wouldn't be able to believe it.
Here's the thing that we actually did get an idea of what the sequel was.
All right,
What
tell
was
us.
this supposed to be, Tatanga or something?
I believe so, but I know that Shy Guys were going to be more prominent, so I
But who
guess
was-
it was going to be an adaptation of 2.
Wait, so the bad guy was gonna be Toe? I mean,
Wart.
yeah, Wart.
I think.
Or maybe it was going to be a Koopa brought back from the dead somehow to look more like his game self. Because, again, he does look like his game self for just about 2.8 seconds of the film. So, yeah.
Why of all products this one has a ballad in the credits?
Because,
bloody
Tio,
nice
they
movie.
were
Again,
planning for this
I-
to be a big cyberpunk
Not just that,
epic.
I know that everyone and their mother was having this in their credits, but this feels so unfitting for a movie like this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this song is one of the lesser problems of this movie.
Not even problem, Jova, just noticing more than anything.
So, before the post-credit scene comes up, anyone want to give final thoughts?
Glimpse.
That sucked.
Well, I will say this. I don't think it's the worst of our Halloween set. Granted, that's not saying much, but... yeah.
It's still rubbish. It barely bears any resemblance to the game, in spite of what Miyamoto will tell you.
Again, Dwibs, I'm really just sure Miyamoto was just saying that because his bosses told him he had to talk up the movie because...
You can tell when he doesn't like something. Have you seen that picture of him reacting to the Kinect?
Oh god, yeah! That is one of the few times I've seen Miyamoto actively frown like that. Like, oh god, yeah, no.
The acting is all over the shop. It's either over the top or it's really, really stilted. The music, half the time, it really doesn't fit. It's like Alan Silvestri was scoring to that very first script that the people got instead of the finished movie.
Yeah.
Shitty behavior aside, the director wasn't even all that good either.
The directors were terrible.
Yeah, both in front of and both behind the camera and running the set, because behind the camera, they really didn't know what they were doing. Scenes that were supposed to be slapstick comedy aren't funny. But then again, the whole movie isn't really that funny in its attempts to be a comedy, anyway. The set design is solid enough, but again, it's not really Mario, even by that point. Mario was known for its really bright colors, and instead here we get generic city and Blade Runner ripoff.
Yeah, discount Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Anything else I can mention?
Alan Silvestri.
I've already mentioned.
What do you think? What if? Wait, hold on. Are we about to get it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we're just getting Walk the Dinosaur now. Anyway, how about the set design?
Well, I mean, I mentioned it was fine, but again, it's not really Mario.
What about the wonderful design of the creatures?
Oh god, those things. The Goombas barely look like Goombas. And the less said about Yoshi, the better. I've already moaned about him a lot.
I love how they made a band for this movie called the Goombas, who are credited for making Walk the Dinosaur song.
Great.
Yeah, I'm sure that single is going to become a big hit that will be remembered.
Actually, it kinda did. Like, Walk the Dinosaur is one of the things that people actually did like from this movie.
In all my time going through the comment sections of reviews of this movie, and indeed anywhere for that matter, I never once heard people mention that song.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Like I mentioned, it's especially popular among the cult following.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised. I haven't seen it anywhere.
Here we go.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Doubly fuck off.
Yeah.
How about the Jana sisters?
Get out.
Yeah, to finish off, since that scene doesn't deserve any attention, and the story. I mean, what story? It's basically Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo running around a shed trying to find a plot. Also, Dennis Hopper laughs weirdly, and Daisy was in this film too,
and Pauline,
and Pufferfish.
Yeah,
and Pufferfish that Mario courted,
and a snot monster.
You know, on the plus side though, it became Lance Henriksen by the end, so no longer a snot monster.
Cameo. It's like that scene in what's he called, Sesame Street, where the guy is like, just a simple cameo. He's like, so am I.
That said, though, fun fact that may please you to know, on June 1st, 2021, editor and film restorationist Garrett Gilchrist and members of a Super Mario Bros. Movie archive released a semi-official restoration of the extended cut of Super Mario Bros.
Oh, I'm not watching that.
No.
No, I'm not doing that.
Major will watch it after we're done recording.
Yeah, that pretty much sums everything up. The movie sucks. It's no wonder, video game movies are Hollywood made. I mean, Hollywood Japan made don't really go that well off half the time. It's the wonder they've had a pattern of sucking. The very first one sucked.
Is it also any surprise that the director couple kind of got blacklisted from the industry, at least according to what they've said? Because, again, the way they treated the team, ooh, that is that's a special grade of terrible.
It's like a step above what Tom Hooper was supposedly doing with the CGI team for Cats. But yeah, this film just sucks. And but hey, that at least gives the 2023. That would have been 30 years since the release of that movie, and they're making a new one. But yeah,
which surprisingly also uses the same title font, so perhaps that's a little homage to this movie.
But yeah, hey, it sets a low bar for that film to hurdle. So it would have to be really bad for it to not even get over that.
Oh yeah, like no. They'd have to actually really try to be worse than this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me done, and that's my involvement in the Halloween marathon for this year over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, lovely isn't what I would describe this movie.
There are many adjectives you would use.
That is not. There are 99, but lovely is not one of them. Yeah, pretty much what we've said. Nothing looks like it should. It's a Mario movie in name only, and that's it about the movie. Like, it's I understand why past me stopped watching after the first 5 minutes, but I guess it was good to finally look at the whole thing the second time around. Anyway, I did watch it in full like another time before, but that was a very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
The music is at least fine. The acting is a bit all over the place. Bit of a creepy movie. Just with some visuals and characters just being weirdos. Horrible production history, it seems. I feel bad for almost everyone involved, not the directors.
Imagine signing up for
horrible people.
Imagine, Shura, you sign up for a script and project that looks very promising, and then you come literally to a set that is the exact opposite of what was promised in that script.
And a married couple yelling at you.
So like Andrew Garfield with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, kind of more like Cool World, but I guess that one fits too.
I'll take your word for that one. But
I never saw Cool World, so I'm not particularly familiar with that one.
The infamous thing is, like, Ralph Bakshi literally had a pretty good script, but then the script got rewritten by the guy who owned the studios' son or whatnot. Literally rewrote it, and Ralph Bakshi only found that out on the first day of filming. So, yeah.
Writers really need to get to locking their rooms so this can't happen again.
Again, Ralph Bakshi was so mad that he punched the guy in the face.
Yikes, but I don't think I have much else to say about the movie itself. It's just, I've seen way worse, but it's offensive as an adaptation of what it's supposed to be. And, you know, I am actually looking forward to this new movie to an extent. So I'm hoping that turns out to be, But this is, oof.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about this.
All right, Pedro.
This movie was written by a monkey.
It features a monkey, so maybe.
Yeah, that's that's exactly it. They tried the whole theory about if how was it, like I said, like 100,
If
right?
like
If
12,000
yeah,
monkeys would write
12,000 monkeys
Shakespeare or
writing a
something.
script, it will produce the greatest film ever made. It turns out it wasn't because they wrote this script. So
Well,
I
you
guess
know
that
what?
theory
I
was
guess
wrong.
I guess to give him credit, it's a surprisingly coherent script in terms of forming words and putting them in sentences for monkeys.
Yeah. Okay. I only have one thing to say to the cult fan base of this movie. You're all fucking nuts.
I agree to disagree.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This movie is so bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. Like the script, the story makes no sense. The characterization is laughable. The set design looks silly and again try to reach off of better products. The creature design looks terrible. The special effects look stupid, and yeah, this has nothing to do with Super Mario Brothers. So there's that too. Again, for as stupid and unfunny as it was, at least the Super Show was somewhat modeled after the games. This is just. Ugh.
I'm not sure what I would take, this or the endless pasta jokes of a Super Show.
Oh no, that show's terrible too. It's just that at the very least,
in terms of obnoxious dialogue,
it really is about a pick your own poison.
See, the thing is, at least in the Super Show, Mario looks like Mario. The princess looks like the princess too, and Mario even touches a fire flower to turn into Fire Mario. That's something, at least.
To be fair, in terms of looks, Bob Hoskins does eventually look like Mario, and Daisy actually does. And he looks similar enough, but it's obviously the movie stake. Daisy actually, again, she does look like how she did in Super Mario Land, so technically they did stay true to that.
The Super Show automatically wins for me just for the fact that it's a cartoon, as a Mario production should. But yeah, that's it. It sucks, and that's it.
All right then, Tio.
Sure. Let me do something quickly first. Okay. No, this movie is just. It's an entertaining ride if you're in the right mindset, but it's still a bad movie and such a mind-boggling adaptation. I forgot if we mentioned that in the commentary, but watch Mad Men Muscles What Happened video on the making of, so you get a complete idea of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure immediately on what if I want to get this or the Super Show. I will say this again. For as much as the plot is terrible, I guess in terms of dialogue, this is still relatively fine, especially because it's tackling more mature subject like proper racism. You know, like King Koopa being blatantly racist against mammalians.
And being essentially a dictator who runs society like that.
Putting the dick to the dictator. And because of that, we don't have stupid pasta jokes one-liner that the Super Show reveled in it in order to try to have its entertainment. I guess. But what Pedro said, it is true. The fact that the Super Show is animated and allows it to move wacky antics allows it also to gain an advantage. It also that it's made to resemble more this sort of material than this. Again, this is so bizarre. This feels like a fever dream that someone did had and then told about it. Oh, I had this weird dream about the Mario property where it was this cyberpunk aesthetics and, King Koopa and the Goombas were ultra-realistic looking anthropomorphic people. And the other guy's like, what the fuck have you smoked? Can you give me some?
The most frustrating thing is that we were so close to actually getting a good live-action Mario Brothers movie. If we had just gone with the original script and not bow to the whim of this egotistical husband and wife duo, but no.
And again, even Okay, I will say this. Someone did mention it previously in the movie, but if we got to a point where we're different, already movie or TV series adaptations of the Mario, meeples, outside also the games, a movie like this would have been seen as an interesting yet exotic kind of take, but that's just it. But because there was literally nothing else, and this was the first major, video game movie, theatrical release, it had big shoes to fill in, and set a precedent. And unfortunately, because of everything, it set a bad precedent, but only rarely has managed to, be overcome, like with Mortal Kombat, and more recently stuff like Detective Pikachu,
And the Sonic movie.
Yeah, that too. Even if I have some reserves on the jokes, like I said, still have to see the sequel. But we'll have to see how the new Illumination movie, is. I still reiterate what I said during the direct that came out recently before the recording of this video. I do believe that the first teaser that they showed us does not show the full extent of this game, of what the movie really looks like.
The most positive thing I can say so far is Jack Black is probably going to entertain us very well as Bowser.
Would it be worse than this on the same level or better? I don't fucking know. What I do know is that this movie is just bonkers. I can get why it may have amassed a cult following. Like I said, it's a thing of appreciating the bizarreness, But you have to. But again, what Pedro said is important. It's also about understanding that behind all this bizarreness, there's still the fact that this is supposed to be based on a popular property which has important canonical physical appearances and stuff. And by doing this, it feels like more of a slap in the face more than trying to have an original take on this property. And I can see more that than so while I can be interested in stuff like the music or the set design being this cyberpunk-esque stuff, or the entire idea of being King Koopa like a dimension conqueror, wanting to use evolved technology, being interesting and everything, at the end of the day, it's still a movie that wants to make you believe that a ultra-realistic animatronic of a dinosaur without anything else is supposed to be Yoshi, among many other things. That should tell you everything.
You know what's sad, honestly? I've seen somebody make this really cool concept of if the Mario Brothers movie was done in the style of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which has the live-action characters alongside their game animated counterparts, and it's actually pretty cool looking.
I'm also not particularly fond of the idea of the fact that Daisy, despite the fact that she originates from Koopa's dimension, she was raised in the human world.
Because her mother takes her over there to keep her protected and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just an interesting type of bad experiment, but a bad one nonetheless, and one plagued by the bad, production and awful behavior of a director, which is inexcusable in regards to the poor actors involved.
It's like
Even
I said,
the ones who are now deceased, they cannot say much about their conditions.
Oh, they sure had a lot to say before they died, though.
Yeah, that is true.
And
all
it's
right,
like all right, Dej.
Next.
Yeah, this movie is shit.
What else is new?
Everything about it. That's all I got.
So you're giving this a 0-2?
No. It's a 1. It's not Bebe's Kids where I wanted to leave. I was quiet for the last 20 minutes.
Wait, seriously? That actually got you to be quiet for that long?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Why is it so hard to do a good adaptation of this franchise. I think the only one to do it right was the Nintendo Power Comics.
Yeah.
It's like it's not hard. There's a lot of material there.
Hold on. Remember, Dej, you're talking about comics compared to movies. That said,
well, I'm not talking just about comics. Talking about like in terms of TV shows and whatnot. It's like
I still had to see the great mission to rescue Princess Peach.
The what?
It's
right, that. Yeah, you know what? You might like that. I personally don't see what all the hype is about that one, but maybe you'll enjoy that one. I will say this
immediately after the first game, so there wasn't really much to go off of.
Oh my god, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
But okay, here's my take, honestly. I don't really think it's that hard, so long as, executives don't meddle, or in this case, give the project to people who clearly are not fit for it, because again, we had a good project going with this one. It was gonna be so much better until, again, they brought on the Max Headroom guys who, they pretty much turned it into Max Headroom. Like, honestly, Dennis Hopper looks like Max Headroom in this movie when you think about it.
I also don't feel like, in order to make a good Mario adaptation, you have to do Paper Mario or any of the RPGs. Like, no, first of all, that's way too complicated, and you're better off adapting those into TV shows.
And heck, Mario and Luigi does just as well, and that is in Paper Mario.
Yeah. That's why I said RPGs.
Well, you said specifically the Paper Mario ones, but you know what? Might as well not do it the nuance. But yeah, no, you have a point though. You don't have to go for our story-heavy RPGs. Honestly, I'll say this. You could make a good movie just basing it off of something like 64 or Odyssey.
Heck, there's enough characters that you can do basically whatever, but still be true to the games. I just never understood why everyone thinks it's impossible to do.
Oh, it's because of the age-old fallacy thinking that, Mario doesn't really have that much depth, so you can't make something interesting off of it, which is a load of horse hockey, let's be honest. I mean, look, the fact that we got Odyssey, and heck, even before that, arguably, back when Miyamoto was in charge, he was doing what was considered like the grand mile for video games with Mario's back then, too. Like,
yeah,
I feel like Mario is one of those things where its simplicity does give some people the wrong idea, but once you look past that simplicity, you'll see that, no, there's plenty of potential, which I do hope the Illumination movie realizes.
Yeah. And I hope it doesn't turn into a Scoop situation where it's blatant that they're trying to set up for a cinematic universe.
A Smash Brothers cinematic universe, perhaps?
I'm going to kill you.
You know you want it.
No, I do not.
With Tom Holland as Diddy Kong.
Shut the fuck up.
By the way, fun fact, apparently some new news about the Illumination movie came up. Apparently the guy playing the King Penguin is Carrie Phaeton.
Yeah, Cyborg.
Yeah. Booyah.
And Eric Boza voices one of the Koopas.
Actually, I thought his role was still unknown, but, maybe that is his role. Oh god, we totally gotta get Carrie Phaeton as an Inkling.
But I don't know. This movie sucks. Maybe there's some weird, interesting ideas that you could have revamped to make it more like Mario in hindsight, but
I'd say
everything about this is just this gigantic train wreck.
Maybe in a day and age where, where the series is in a comfortable enough place to have, spin-offs that veer far off from it, this could probably have worked out. But no, this was supposed to be an actual adaptation. What are you doing?
And I guess it's at this time, the latest Mario game was Land 2, but I'm sure this production of this movie was far into it. That was too late. So we have the arcade games, the NES trilogy, World, and Land to go off of. It's no, there was something you could have made.
And again, I would definitely stake a bet that Nintendo, despite their outward claims, did take quite a few inspirations from the movie, some of which they've even had to begrudgingly admit over time.
Like, didn't the Nintendo Game Boy comic line was just one story, Tatanga versus Mario repeated ad nauseum?
For a lot of it.
I believe so.
I think it may have occasionally gone off that. Wait, hold on, no. It was Tatanga both times, I think.
I think it was like 4 issues at least. I forgot.
Maybe it was a European comic, I'm not sure.
Linkar reviewed it for a while.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's also weird that Peach is not in this, considering how much of a series staple she is.
Again, my headcanon is that she's one of the girls kidnapped from Brooklyn, trapped in the room.
Maybe she's Angelica, the one from Queens.
Yes.
I mean, I do appreciate that they got Mario's best girlfriend in there.
I mean, that's good. I mean, if we do an adaptation from Donkey Kong, you have to do the okay. So how do they split up and then he ends up with Peach? But that's a question for another day.
Perhaps, yes.
Anyway, this movie was bad, and thankfully, I want to say since Angry Birds, we've been getting slightly better at video game adaptations. They're not there yet, but they're on the right path.
What do you mean by there?
Like, they're not anything to write home about. Like, oh man, this is like how we have comic book movies setting the standards.
Ah.
You get me?
Yeah. I'd say the second Sonic movie was definitely there, but even if we do consider it that, that's just one of, like, how many video game movies total are there now?
Yeah. At the cost of pissing off anybody, if Sonic does feel like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, whereas their hearts are in the right place, but could be better.
You know what? As someone who loves the Sam Raimi trilogy, I will take that as a compliment. Anyway, anything else for your final thoughts?
No.
All right, then. I guess that just leaves me. Well, we will be ending this on probably the most positive note of the bunch, because, yeah, no, I like this movie. I still acknowledge, though, that it is crap. Like, no, I'm sorry. We should have gone with the original vision from the script that the actors agreed to. Shouldn't have pulled the stupid last-minute pull on them. Those directors were terrible to them, and it sounds like it was deserved that they got blacklisted, so I guess karma did play a factor here. That being said, there are a lot of things that I do like about this movie and find fun. I actually do like the casting. The actors weren't always used the best, but again, directors. Like, now this is one of those cases where, okay, some executive meddling is also technically to blame since, you know, they okayed these directors doing this crap until eventually they actually tried to boot them off, but then they went to the Writers Guild, so, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, most of the blame definitely relies on the director couple here. Like, it wasn't executives meddling with their vision overall. Now, granted, I guess some might argue that, oh, if they've gone with their vision completely undeterred, maybe it might have been good. Yeah, I'm gonna press X to doubt on that one. And again, in a weird way, I would have liked a sequel to this. But no, what I would have preferred is a sequel that makes it so that, oh, suddenly things become more game-like, essentially. Which some people apparently did spectate would have been the thing. Again, I swear, for like 2 seconds, Bowser actually looks like Bowser, specifically classic Bowser.
It would have been like not too much of an uncommon thing, Joe, if you forgot the Street Fighter movie originally was supposed had the deleted scenes of that. Were involving Ryu and Ken discussing about the Goken, and they're teaching about the huddle, because it was supposed to be foreshadowing sequel they were going to make where they were introducing Akuma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, oh, we'll have to tackle that movie someday too. And the wonders it brought, but no, this movie here. Now, like I said, I do legit enjoy bits like the slide scene. It feels nice and classic, and apparently this was an original thing for Mario at the time, so no, I wouldn't be surprised if 64 got that idea for the slide levels here and there. The world design is actually pretty cool. Here's the thing. This might have worked actually better in the Odyssey era, because as a Mario Odyssey, people are way more okay with different art styles showing up in Mario. Like, I kid you not, Lost Kingdom, that is like literally Dark Souls art style there.
What is Mario but Dark Souls?
It probably just enough that Mario literally has armor that makes him look like Dark Souls.
With Kingdom Battle. What if Mario had a gun?
And that dream was fulfilled by whoever was asking for that. But no, I mean, by the time of Mario Odyssey, this might have worked a bit better. Mind you, as one of the side worlds in Mario. Not as the main one. Or maybe the catch would have been that when, with the totalitarian regime toppled, it would go back to being more kingdom-like. Also, it's weird how this movie tries to portray it as a sad ending that Daisy apparently can't come back with Luigi, except we later see on the news that, no, apparently visitors from the other world are coming, and heck, here comes Daisy herself to advertise that sequel. Okay, gotta ask, guys, on the scale of movies that advertise a sequel at the end that is clearly not happening, where do we rank this one?
I don't know.
Right up there, definitely. Because so it's kind of like when you start watching The Last Airbender and it says book 1 water, Dejimon, dude.
Don't you see? I'm sure M. Night Shyamalan will eventually get around to making Last Airbender 2. And to be fair, Shyamalan himself for God, I think it was nearly a decade went on about how he was going to make the sequel before he finally relented. Unless he's still going on about that, in which case, no, it ain't happening. They got a whole new Avatar Studios and a new live-action remake coming to Netflix, my dude. But no, back to stuff I did like about this movie. The music. And I'll admit, I do actually like Big Bertha in this one. She's confident, strong, gets the hots from Mario, and she kicks butt. And like I said, when they actually do get in the costumes, Mario and Luigi do look cool. No, I am perfectly fine with this being a take. In fact, I'm really surprised that I don't think we've ever seen the movie skin ever be a costume for Mario and something. It's really weird. And the Stompers look cool. But they do actually work some things to be similar to the games, ironically, here and there. Which makes it frustrating and confusing when suddenly they will actually try to be faithful to the games, only to then switch to something that is completely inane and off its rocker here. But yeah, look, I absolutely do get the enjoyment of the cult fanbase. Heck, I am technically a part of that cult fanbase. Although, I'll admit, it wasn't like I saw this movie as a kid. Mind you, I wasn't even born when this movie first came out, but it's not like I saw this movie as a kid and was like, oh.
That would be the unlucky one on that regard would be me here.
So, how familiar were you with Mario when you saw this movie in theaters?
I've always been a huge Mario fan. I must have played Super Mario the first time I was 4.
So, how as a kid did you react to seeing Yoshi get shanked?
I hated this movie, even as a kid. Because as a kid, I just thought it was boring and it had nothing to do with the games. And I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I totally get it. Look, again,
this doesn't look as good as the Turtles movie.
I may personally really love this. No, not love. I really like this movie. But like I said, that is in spite of its flaws. And, again, knowing what the directors did, it's not worth getting a sequel if it would have meant giving them any credit of sorts. Ugh. That said, in terms of our Halloween set, this is not the worst of the movies, I'm gonna say. That honor belongs to either Monster Family 2 or Event Horizon for differing reasons. Mind you, this is still pretty bad, though. But, maybe someday I will treat myself to seeing that extended cut. For now, though, folks, this brings an end to our 2022 selection of Halloween picks. It's been quite a wild ride. We took a look at the Child's Play franchise on 2 occasions. Finally got to see what all the hubbub was about with Hocus Pocus and have a good Halloween time. We went to space with Event Horizon. We braved the terrors and witnessed a sequel to one of the worst movies we've ever commentated on to see how that sequel could top its predecessor, only to end on the first ever video game movie live-action franchise. Well, considering how crazy this Halloween got, I can only imagine how crazy next year's will be. We will see you then. Signing off, good night, and happy Halloween.